You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. A Montauk businessman has pleaded guilty to stealing $400,000. The Suffolk DA says Mark Rippolone stole the money from a payroll company and from his own customers' bank accounts. The 35-year-old was the owner of 123 Delivery and a beach service company called Hampton Management Group. He's due back in court in December. And police have identified the employee that was killed at a Jeep service center. 32-year-old Daniel Ciccio died after a co-worker backed a Jeep Grand Cherokee over him. It happened on Sunrise Highway in Wantagh last week. Now, the name of the driver has not been released. There's no word yet on possibility of criminal charges. And New York lawmakers are looking to expand a bottle law from the 1980s, and it could end up costing you more at the supermarket. The proposed bills would raise deposits from 5 cents to 10 cents. It would also add bottles of sports drinks like juices, wines, and liquors to the list of containers that require deposits. Now, this bill can be considered as early as January. And the feds have rejected a request to replenish the sand on Fire Island beaches that have been battered by storms. The Army Corps of Engineers says the damage is not bad enough to qualify for immediate repairs. Now, last month, Senators Charles Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand requested emergency repairs in areas like Davis Park and the Pines. And as Election Day approaches, rising seas and a ferry terminal are two of the top issues in Glen Cove. Macy Eglin and Ted Phillip have a story you'll see only in Newsday.
This is Village Square in Glen Cove, and we are here with Newsday's City of Glen Cove reporter Ted Phillips talking about the issues that residents here are pretty focused on as they head to the polls this November. So, Ted, what are people here in Glen Cove talking about?
Well, one of the big issues in Glen Cove has long been the development of the ferry terminal. This is a terminal that was built with about $16 million of federal funds. Part of the agreement with the feds was that the city would get ferry service to Manhattan up and running for a year. So far, they haven't been able to do that. The terminal is finished, but the economics of running a commuter ferry have proved kind of difficult so far. The question is, will the feds claw that money back, which would be a big hit for the city, or will they be able to get the ferry service up and running, or will they come up to some other kind of agreement? Also,
it sounds like there's been a lot of development projects. I mean, we're in one here in Village Square.
This is a pretty recent development. RXR is a developer here. They're also a developer on the Garvey's Point waterfront. It is nearing completion. It's not complete yet. A city official told me recently that some of the project had gotten slowed down, but if you go to the waterfront, you'll see a lot of nice buildings and condos that have come up from recent years. You will probably see more of that coming. A few more buildings are still left to be finished there.
And being on the North Shore, are there any environmental concerns for residents here?
The city accepted a report recently. It was a climate change report, and this report projects that by the end of the century, that due to sea level rise, that a lot of the waterfront will be subject to storm flooding, and this is a concern long term. And the city has to figure out a way, some strategies to deal with this, so that a lot of these areas that are being invested in aren't underwater.
Right. Thank you, Ted.
Now, to learn more about what's happening in Glen Cove and in your town, go to Newsday.com, click Get More on the Newsday TV video box. And New York is among the dozens of states suing the tech giant Meta. The lawsuit claims Meta collects data on children under the age of 13 without parental consent. Now, in a statement, Meta says that it's committed to providing teens with safe experiences online and has introduced more than 30 tools to support teens and their families. And Billy Joel has announced his second-to-last concert for his MSG residency. The concert will be held on June 8th. All of the Piano Man's upcoming residency shows through April are, you guessed it, sold out. Tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. on Friday. Good luck. All right, let's take a look at your Long Island weather, shall we? And it was a beautiful fall day. Tonight we have temps in the high 40s, but tomorrow it's going to be a little bit warm. Look at that. Temps in the mid-60s around 3 and 12 o'clock. I'll take it.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated. High school sports is sponsored by PC Richard & Son.
Hi, I'm Greg Sarah. We begin with a big showdown in Suffolk Division II football, Bellport at North Babylon. And this one was all North Babylon. Chris Stumpf finding Jawara Keehee for the short pass. He zigzagged 45 yards for a score with just 17 seconds to go in the first half. Keehee, who came into the game with the Long Island leading 1,537 yards on the ground, well, he ran 26 times for 139 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Bulldogs, they beat the two-time defending champion Clippers 48-6. North Babylon, they're now 6-1.
Not only offense was connecting on all cylinders, we had our defense just shutting it down.
I just had to get the touchdown, and I just had to just make a play up. I just had to be creative.
An overtime thriller in Nassau Conference 1. I was there. It was crazy fun. Carissa Kelman, she was there for the latest chapter in the Farmingdale-Massapequa rivalry.
It's the crosstown rivalry that brings out fans on both sides of the stands. Farmingdale and Massapequa, two unbeaten teams in Nassau Conference 1. This game will be a defining moment in their seasons and will play a big role in playoff seedings. Both teams averaged more than 35 points per game before this one, but it becomes a defensive battle in the first half, where neither team averages more than 4 yards per play. Farmingdale's Matt Ippoliti even made this interception, but the Dalers just couldn't capitalize on any of their 3 forced turnovers. Farmingdale finally opens the scoring with just over a minute left in the third quarter on 4th down and 14, when quarterback Dennis Finkel lofts this long pass to the corner of the end zone, and it's James Collins with the reception. Massapequa's Tyler Villalta says not so fast. On the next possession, he breaks 3 tackles and explodes for a 54-yard touchdown run. Chris Biscetta adds the extra point kick, and the score is tied at 7 with 11 minutes left in the game. Regulation just isn't enough time to determine a winner, so bring on overtime. Each team has 1 possession, and Farmingdale's Sal Pasilico gets right to work, taking it 3 yards to the end zone. Luca Cotto adds the extra point kick to give the Dalers a 7-point lead. But when the Dalers come knocking, it's Villalta who answers. He puts up 6 points on this 1-yard run, and he's confident that he can run for 2 more. Massapequa tries to draw Farmingdale offsides, and it works. Villalta, now even closer to the goal line, seals the deal on this final run as Massapequa defeats Farmingdale 15-14.
I knew if I got the ball, I was going to get in, no matter what. We worked so hard for this, and I knew we were going to get in.
You know, the defense stepped up. They have all year, and it's a tribute to them and, the type of attitude they have and the type of kids that they are, and they're just mentally tough.
In Farmingdale, Carissa Kelman, Newsday TV.
Great job, Carissa. Tip of the cap to Buddy Krimenacker, the Farmingdale coach, and Kevin Chipos, the Massapequa coach, the communities, the support, the bands, Farmingdale and Massapequa bands. What a great day for Long Island High School football. For more on these teams and more exclusive local sports stories, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
A hunt for Halloween treats. Elisa DiStefano has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
On the search for Halloween treats, our first stop here in Suffolk. At Blondie's Bake Shop in Centerport, there's a variety of fun, festive sweets. Everything looks and smells so delicious in here.
Thanks so much. We go Halloween crazy.
They bake creative cookies, cakes.
That is a chocolate cake with a chocolate fudge filling, and then a vanilla buttercream frosting, dark chocolate drip.
You cannot get cuter than these cupcakes.
Aren't they fun?
Yes.
They're marshmallow ghosts. Those are s'mores cupcakes. We don't get too gory. We stay on like the silly light side of things. These are like a chocolate fudge brownie trifle. Whipped cream, chocolate pudding, Oreo crumbs.
It's like chocolate heaven. What would you say is the most unique thing that you do here for Halloween?
I think that it probably has to be our jack-o'-lantern Pop-Tarts.
I love anything pumpkin. Look how cute this is. It tastes like pumpkin pie. Now to Nassau County Sweet Karma in Plainview.
We try to go all out. It's like we take fun items and change up the way it looks for Halloween. We make it a little spookier, a little scarier. What's Halloween without a little gore?
Get your fill of brains.
Never brain tastes so good.
And blood. If you have your eye on kid-friendly sweets, there are Rice Krispie Treat Pops, Monster Macaroons, and Cakesicles.
It's devil's food cake dipped in dark chocolate ganache. Devil's food is very popular for Halloween.
Devil's food for Halloween.
Yes.
I love those pumpkins. What are those?
Those are vanilla bean cupcakes with a pumpkin cream cheese buttercream.
Ooh.
One of the things I love is the 50-50 graveyard.
Dig in.
Dig in the graveyard.
Dig in.
Elisa DiStefano, Newsday TV.
It's to die for.
That's pretty funny, actually. All right, to read more about where to find local Halloween treats, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Information about communities is lost if you don't have local reporters. And if there's no one reporting, how do you know what's going on in your community?
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.